Hello everybody, and welcome to week 8 of the 12 and Up summer reading program. So today's activities, we're going to make a sea glass jar, and it gives me beach vibes, so I brought my sun hat. And we are going to need, from our bag, you're going to need the glass jar. You're going to need the leftover glue from last week's activity. You're going to have a little bit of twine or some other type of string. And then a sponge brush. We're going with brush. It's a paint applicator. Alright, so if you give me just a second, we're going to get down to business. Okay, so I have removed my sun hat to make the activity work a bit easier so it's not in my way. And then we're going to just go ahead and pull the lid off your jar. I strongly suggest putting down some newspaper of some kind and then having a paper plate to work with, and flipping your jar upside down onto the plate. You're going to go ahead and take your glue, and you should have a bit of food dye. If you don't like the color you have, or have some at home that you would like to use, go ahead and do that. And we're just going to add it, sorry. Ooh. This is going to be a messy project too, I should warn you guys in advance. You're going to go ahead and just add a bit of food dye and just mix it up, and keep in mind that however dark it is in here, it's probably still going to be lighter on the jar as we paint it on. So we're just going to mix until we are the color we want to be. I think I'm going to do mine a little bit darker. I had to water it down a bit, so we may need to add a little more than normal. Okay. Be very, very careful, and I maybe should have had an apron or something on. If you have some older clothes that you're not worried about getting dirty, I would maybe suggest wearing those for this project. Okay. Ooh. Oh boy. See? What did I say? Okay. So once you have this mixed to where you think it's about perfect, go ahead and grab a sponge, dip it in, and we're just going to start by painting, well, I guess you can call it painting our jar, and giving it a nice even coat throughout. And just kind of try and get a nice even coat on here. Try and just cover the whole thing really well. Keep in mind it's probably going to need more than a single coat. We're just kind of trying to give this glass kind of a, I guess we're trying to get it to change color a bit, and then we're also trying to get it to have like a kind of muted look, I guess, hence why we're using a sponge, so it can kind of look like that it's, you know, been around the sea a bit. Because if you've ever seen sea glass, it usually has it's usually like from a broken jar or bottle that shouldn't be in the water to begin with, but it's there. And so it gets kind of weathered down and given a more tempered look. So once you, yeah, there's no way to really do this without making a mess, so once you've got it painted, just go ahead and, it's not too bad, fix the areas that I just touched there, and then we are gonna let it sit. With acrylic paint, I've only had to wait like 15-20 minutes. We'll just kind of have to wait and see with the glue. I'm assuming we'll wait about the same amount of time and then see where we're at. Alright, so it took 20 minutes for it to dry, and as you can see, it's got a good coloring, starting to get that nice fun texture to it. We're going to do one more coat to it just to make sure that the color really sticks and really pops, and then we're going to get to, yeah, we're going to let that dry and we'll go from there. So go ahead and same as before, take our brush and do our best to not make a huge mess. I did get some of the food coloring and glue mix on my hands the first time. It'll rinse, if you got it on you too, it'll rinse off, well I mean wash off within a day or two. It's not really gonna come off right away, but it's not gonna stay forever either. Just like with the first coat, giving it a nice even coat will help with how it looks and with the drying process. So here's our second coat. I'm going to go ahead and put it back on the plate to dry. And again, I'm going to come back in and fix the areas that my fingers may have messed up a bit. Alright. And just like before, I'm going to let this sit for 20 minutes and let everything dry, and then we'll come back and finish up our project. Okay, so I think in this case, 2 coats was the magic number. If you kind of look, it's got it's decently well covered. You can tell what color it is, but you can still kind of vaguely see through it if you squint a bit. So now we are going to just kind of clean up my area a bit, and then you should all have a little bit of string in your bags. Go ahead and kind of pull that out, and we can give it a nice beachy nautical vibe by adding a little bit of twine to it. And then you can either tie it in a bow or tie it off, whatever you think you would like more. I'm gonna try tying mine in a bow, but we may give up and just tie it off. Oh, there we go, almost. I went to the fair last weekend and saw all the cool crafts that people came up with, and my crafts will not be displayed there. We don't quite have the skill of all of those amazing community members, but there we go. Looks kind of vaguely like I tried to tie a bow on there. So there we go. I quite like it. I don't know about you guys, it's gonna be great for holding pens or scissors, or if you want to put in like some rocks or seashells that you may have collected from adventures over the summer. It would work absolutely fantastic for that too. Alright everybody, I hope you all enjoyed week 8 of the 12 and Up summer reading program from the Williston Community Library. I know that I have sure enjoyed doing this program, and I hope that you guys have really enjoyed doing this summer reading as well. Well, you guys all have a good one. Enjoy the rest of your summer. Bye!